So the next meeting is on election day, so we have to change it.
What's that?
The next regular meeting is on election day, so we have to change it.
What is the first weekend of November? This week, the 4th through the 3rd. Tuesday, the 5th. It's the first week of November. 3rd through the 9th. They deliver that, right? I can ask them.
Yes, you do.
See, wait until exactly the time. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Thank you all for coming. I want to remind everyone that this is about roads tonight, and the agenda is short. There is no open session. It's a special meeting, and we're so glad everybody was able to come. And I'd like to start this meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, the agenda starts with road repair. And Vim, I know you gave us a road commissioner report. Do you want to talk about that?
Pretty much explains itself.
Yeah, well, we just got it. So did you email this out earlier?
Nope. Came later in the day.
Did they have a copy up there too? Okay. So last week you had mentioned that you were going to move the grader and the trailers parked out there. So I'm just wondering if the grader did make it into the garage?
I got the building cleaned out and I put the grader in there.
Great.
And I hauled off those ties. I just haven't got here to hook on the box yet. Should get it within a day or so.
Right. Did you move the stuff that was in there that was yours down?
I took it out, yeah, I brought a loader up, we took it out.
Okay.
Then we put the grader in.
So you also mentioned last week that you were going to start this week to work on the sides of the roads, the paved roads, to knock the sides down. Did you make much progress on that, or?
Well, I was told not to start until after I put the grader in and moved the balls. That was at the end of our meeting.
Right, so, but none of us knew why you hadn't moved the trailer.
I got a guy coming and move it for me. I thought he was gonna do it today.
You're really good at texting. It'd be nice to know where things stand so we don't have to come here and ask. All it would have taken is a text or a call to Leanne or Kathy or me and say, hey, this is the plan for the trailer. But these are some of the things that we don't know until we get here, and then the plan has changed. So I'm just asking so that everybody's on the same page.
I called Rodney Howell a couple of days ago, and he told him I'm going to get him to move it for me. He said, get it either yesterday or try to get it by there today.
Okay, so there's a plan, so great, thank you. Okay, so your report says you're going to be putting in 2 new culverts on Town Farm Road tomorrow?
Yeah, I moved the excavator up by the corner, down the corner of my field, that 3-foot one, we'll put that in first.
And that was a road complaint, right? A driveway near your house?
No, this is the one that's right crosses the road, right there in the bottom of the hill.
Okay,
It's a 36-inch by 40 foot. It's all rotted out, we had to keep filling it in the tire patch, and it keeps settling down here.
gotcha, down in that wet boggy area.
So I plan on changing that tomorrow, and then we're gonna move the excavator up on Town Farm Hill up where the complaint was for the driveway culvert that's rotted out.
Okay,
I have a question. The culvert on Mahoney Road was deemed emergency like 2 months ago. And a complaint was filed, and we have 24 hours to do something about that, flag that. And it still isn't done, and now there's a huge hole.
The old culverts are all completely rotted out, it's gonna be replaced.
Can I ask why Town Farm Road gets priority over Mahoney that was deemed emergency 8 weeks ago?
We have to order the culvert for that one. I didn't realize it was that culvert was that rotted out, so I went over and looked at it the other day. And it's like half gone.
so,
Eight weeks ago, the road committee mentioned that that was an emergency, even over the emergent road work. It's an emergency.
Well, I wasn't in here on all of those meetings, and I didn't realize you had it underneath emergency. The culvert was mentioned to me,
I believe you were here.
I don't know.
Fair enough.
I'll get a culvert and put it in there for you. I can order one, I think I know where one of the guys got to stop, I think I can get it probably within a day or two.
we have ARPA funds out there too, if you're gonna order culverts.
Yeah. I know we do. We still have quite a bit of money left in there for culvert.
80,000, I think. Is that correct?
Close,
Close that.
75 maybe.
We have time and material sheets from various contractors, BIM, Jeremy, Pitcher, D&D. And I'd like to make a motion to have D&D take care of that Mahoney Road culvert.
Why, you think he can do it cheaper than them?
This isn't about cheap, this is about immediate.
He already got a culvert?
He said he can get to it by the end of the week.
Yeah, he just said he could win, Ben?
I could probably have a culvert there tomorrow, probably put it in within a day or two.
8 weeks and a box truck still out there. That was supposed to be your measure of good faith. You had a week to do it, and it's still sitting there. And For the 4 months that I've been sitting here, I've heard nothing but excuse after excuse after excuse.
No, it hasn't been excuse after
Oh.
excuse. It's been you not letting us work on the road, is what it's been.
There was
You're trying to
contingencies.
pass the buck off on me, and it's not me.
We had emergency work.
We were going to work on the roads as soon as you told us it was all right. You jumped up on 1st of July, and they got hero move, freezing the money, not letting us do anything. And there we sat, ever since then. So don't try to lay this to me, it's not me.
There's no freezing of money, it's pre-authorization. And that's
Okay,
our responsibility.
You can call it a verdict, whatever you want. You wouldn't let us work on the road.
That's not true.
Yes, that is true.
It isn't true. If you followed the minutes, and I know that at the time that you weren't here at that meeting, but we basically said budgets have been cut and we need to stay on track to make sure we don't go over. And so that very meeting, I asked before road projects are done, can we have some sort of notice that they're gonna happen and what you think it's gonna cost so we can stay within budget? Never was the word frozen ever used, except for when you came back.
I don't
That's all we
understand
asked.
that budget. You did not want me working on the roads.
I would
No,
like-
that's
You were
not true.
giving us commission. Look, don't sit there and lie to me.
I'm not lying to you.
I know.
I've been here at every meeting, Ben, when you've not been here.
Everyone else.
I am now making a motion
He's gonna,
for no more comment from you. It's not fruitful, it's not productive, it's not resolving the problem, and we're
You're
not,
sitting there accusing me of lying.
we're
You're
not having this anymore, and if you cannot get yourself together, then I'm gonna ask you to leave.
No problem.
Yes,
You have a video.
So, a bunch of months ago, like you said, the road committee wrote up the report for Mahoney Road, and Ben was given a copy a bunch of months ago, so he had a copy somewhere. So we can't say that it wasn't handed to him.
It's in all the meetings, it's in all the minutes of the meetings.
and that was when did you,
When
road
did we do
committee, you
that,
think?
Leslie? When did we give that? That was like 3 months ago?
Not 3,
2 months ago?
6 to 8 anyway.
8. I don't know, if you go back in the minutes, I mean, you guys all got them.
right, we look at the road complaint date too, so.
Right, and that was a long time ago, and you're right, 100%, but we made sure that everything that was on there was emergency, and the culvert, like you said, down at the bottom of Town Farm was not emergency. We looked at the culvert, and we thought that culvert should have been fixed way before that, and there were some other things that should have been fixed before that, so.
So here's our concern, and I want to just get it all up straight, and then Aaron, you're next. When we have an emergency, when we have something that's going to hurt vehicles, and we're supposed to get right on it. Patch those holes once they're, or get them marked with a cone or whatever. Now, only because I have walked by it on a regular basis, the one on Berry Road that was complained twice, and someone came and asked us to pay for his tire over a year ago, just got patched last week. So we are very fortunate that nobody's gotten hurt on Mahoney Road, but we only have so much time and the town is responsible. So when we get a report in, when people complain, when people fill out forms that says we have a dangerous situation, we are obligated to have our road commissioner go out and get that done. We have emergency road work. That's why we have a road committee that can also help get these things in order so that he can stay focused, so that anyone doing road work can stay focused. So that's our concern is here's Mahoney Road. Other projects are being done in Mahoney Road. He just saw it and it's been 8 weeks. And he's now telling us the culvert, which last week he said the culvert was fine, just at the road spread. This week he's saying the culvert is not fine, it's rotted, because he just saw it. I don't understand, which one do I believe?
Right, I would go for it and fix it, whatever you gotta do to get it.
Well, we
fixed,
have to do
fix it.
something or else all of us
We're gonna get
are
sued.
going to be, we're putting the town at risk. We're not supposed to be doing that.
Years ago, when somebody drove down like Tucker Road, I'll just use Tucker Road for an example, and hit a bump and they messed up their car. The fix was go put a bump sign up.
Well, we need to note it. And if it's not noted,
That's what they
Then-
did. They didn't fix the road, they just put a bump sign
Yep.
up. That kind of, I don't know if that, did that cover them, Kathy, from getting sued or what? What's the deal there? With the bump signs?
we're supposed to put up something for safety, whether it be a cone or a sign or something.
But we need to start taking care of this stuff. We have the money to do it, let's get it done, please.
Aaron, you're next.
So, the start of every meeting, you guys approved the previous meeting minute notes, correct?
I didn't hear you.
Not this meeting.
Not this
Not this
meeting, this is
meeting,
a
but-
specialty road meeting. So
But these meeting minutes are approved for the next meeting, correct?
Correct,
So you acknowledge the meeting minutes are accurate when you do that, correct?
correct.
So you just sat here, and you did it last week too, and you said that the money was never frozen.
It wasn't
It's
frozen.
not frozen.
Let me finish. There is a line item in, or a note, August 6th, stating that one of the selectmen made a motion to unfreeze the money to let the road commission do the job.
Wrong word.
Or wrong word, then why'd you approve the minutes?
No, she's the one who said those very words, and
Right.
that's why they're in the minutes.
Yeah, I said that, let him do it.
But the frozen, when, we never froze his funds. You can go back and look at all the videos. What we said is, we'd like to know what projects are priorities. We only have so much money, and we need to make sure that the safety and concerns and the roads that are the worst are done first. And some idea so that we can stay within, because budgets, everybody's budget was cut. That's where this all started.
So where is this list of priority roads that's top one?
The priority road list of the road committee pulled together.
Okay, and it's posted, you get that in the town office?
I believe it's
It's
in
not on the
minutes too.
I'd like to know where, because I looked through, I've been reading all week and I haven't seen it.
I have one dated for 9/10 and I have one dated for 8/21.
It's in the meeting minutes?
Just when it was presented at the
She's
meeting.
saying no, so where can I get that?
I'm sure I have it at the office, but it's not in the minutes.
Okay, so. All right, go on, keep going.
Yes, David?
Yeah, Dave, I like the counterpoint what Mr. Harvey's saying. Definitely things were put on hold for accountability, and that's what everything's been about since the election. You know, we want to hold everyone in town to do the right thing and tell us what you're gonna do, and at least give us a guesstimate of what the hell's gonna go on.
And he
And
did.
they wouldn't do that. They took, Ms. Lowe, you can probably agree that it took 2 months for you to tell us we're not set up for doing this. Why you didn't say that before, I don't know. But so, yeah, things have been very stalled, and it's definitely been on hold a little bit, but we're just trying to make people accountable. And we had an emergency plan. Mahoney Road, there's a very bad issue there. If someone drifts over to the side of the culvert, they're gonna go in, and it's a 6-foot drop. So it's imperative that we fix that. And the culvert between Alan McNeil's 2 fields, it's a divot there. But you know how many pole patches they put on that in the last year? 7 or 8. And you don't think he knows that when he goes over there with his heavy equipment, he comes out of his field with a lot of weight in his vehicles, and he pounds that culvert. Yeah, it needs to be re-engineered, but it's not a stress problem right now. We have Darrington Road, we have Pratt Road, we have Mahoney, Gurney Hill is like a joke. So we got a lot of issues. And if you want to come on the road committee, we'll welcome you there, and you can give us your information and your knowledge about the roads.
And your passion.
Thank you.
I just, to a point you made, Ben did give an estimate on Pratt Road. He gave just as much an estimate as Fisher did.
But no, correct. Okay.
What was not-
Tell me it's just a general.
Show me what's different what Ben gave you and what's right.
I have no idea the specifics on non-involved.
Do you have the
I'm
same
just a
estimate that I
lame
do?
duck in the whole thing.
Do you have the same
What
estimate
is
from
that?
Ben that I do?
Can I read it?
Hold on, Paul.
What estimate is that?
The estimate Ben gave us,
For who?
for Pratt Hill.
I don't have that.
We'll get you a copy.
Does it say more than material?
It only says material gravel.
Okay, so you've got more information, the picture does.
No, sir.
Yes, it's right here, black and white. It says material. Doesn't say
That's
material
after we did a
gravel.
whole spec sheet out for all the vendors that wanted to do the roads. I'm gonna go to Paul now.
So material is very,
Broad.
yeah, so there's types of gravel you're supposed to use on a road. You're supposed to use the type B gravel, which would be the lower half, and then use the type A gravel on the top to flatten it out, smooth it out. Type D is 1.5 inches, and type A is, none of that is in his bid, or his, excuse me, this isn't a bid. This is called a rough estimate. And a rough estimate, just so everybody knows, means rough. It needs to be broke down, it needs to be brought into, compiled into a whole bunch of parts to find out what a real cost is gonna be. So yes, he has given a price for 50 to 60,000 to do that road, but he is very, very weak on what he's gonna do.
Very vague,
Can you show
very
me
vague.
in the bid spec where it says type A gravel, or A for just mentioned?
Do I have to? No, that's a state law.
I know, but
I'm just telling you, it's
I'm just
a
telling
state
you, he's saying that's in the bid
law.
spec. You said it's in the bid
So-
spec, it's absolutely not.
Kathy, who everyone has said, we're gonna keep moving, I'm sorry. Paul, thank you very much. So you have there that BIM did, just to correct the record from last week, that the envelope that Kathy came back from BIM, because BIM didn't come to any of the meetings. We even held a Saturday meeting where we all canceled plans, giving him one more chance. Kathy came in with an envelope or menu or something, and she had stuff written down from her conversation with BIM. And she and he drove the road, and that's what Kathy said during the meeting. It's on the tape. And this is the notes from that. So you want to,
I will get you a photocopy. So the Tuesday meeting, if you go back and look at all your meetings, BIM was supposed to come with an estimate. Lots of wiggle room. He didn't. And it got, like she said, postponed to the 20th, a Saturday afternoon. And we got this handed by Kathy Lowe, and the original estimate, sight unseen. And if you go back, BIM hadn't even looked at the road and said it'll be 50,000. And I said to Kathy, and you'll hear that in the video, what do we get for 50,000? So then when this came in on the Saturday, the extension of the original select board, let me read it to you. Pratt Hill, on the hill, ditches need to be cleaned and reseeded, and gravel to level up approximately 0.2 miles. At the bottom of the hill, there is a soft spot that needs to be dug up and add gravel. First big culvert, place cement barriers around it. 4-foot culvert after needs to be replaced. Total after that is 5 or 6 culverts to come out. Ledge that needs blasting, maybe 2 days' work. From pole number 11 to Mahoney Road, rocks dug up and rest of the tar is to be broken up, gravel added to be level. 1 excavator, 2 dump trucks, 1 skid steer, material that is used, which is gravel, rough estimate, $50,000 to $60,000. Paving, start from Route 219 to intersection of Mahoney Road, 0.8 miles total. When we talked with BIM last, there was an issue of ledge. And I said, now I just watched Jeremy just totally get wrecked at my in-laws next door dealing with ledge. And I'm like, why would you move ledge if it's not gonna move? And he said, well, I'm more concerned with the ledge that's in the ditch for plowing. I need to get that out of there for plowing. Well, that doesn't have anything to do with road repair. So why would you blast? Can you tell me?
Well, if it's in the ditch, that's an natural dam.
It was, BIM had said specifically for plowing so that he didn't have to lift his plow to go up over it. So with that being said,
Yeah, but you just read off his estimate, you said he didn't tell you what you were getting for that price. You just read everything he did for it, so what's the issue?
and
There's
the,
more on that estimate than I can see in his bid spec.
Well, that was for the entire job, this is just for half the job.
Okay, so that's it, you can prove the point even more. They must be doing the entire road for 50, 60. We're not even doing it for 60.
we have tried and tried and tried, and we are not going to reward bad behavior. We have asked for everyone's help. We've asked for a bunch of stuff and things show up after the fact or excuses. We have to move this stuff forward.
Mhm.
And every week we get a different story. It was great to have him here and I'm sorry he left. But it's irritating because all week I've been waiting for stuff that he promised to do and no update, no nothing. No, hey, Leanne, I'm not gonna be able to move that trailer till next week. Or we asked him to move the grader weeks ago and it finally came up to here. And then it took 2 weeks to get it to the garage because he had his own personal stuff in the town garage.
Just remember, once you burn a bridge, there's
I understand that. We need to pull things back to-
Everyone's somewhere, you probably burn with D&D, now you got to hire, who knows, grant something, you got to get emergency work.
Wow.
And my taxes go because you guys are trying to prove a point.
We're not trying to prove a point, we're trying to follow the rules of the town and
I
keep
can't wait
things
for the
straight.
first emergency. I'll be wow.
Paul?
So in this bid that, or rough estimate, and we're gonna go with rough estimate because it's not a bid, okay? He says he's gonna blast, he says it's gonna take 1 to 2 days. No idea how much that's gonna cost. It could be $5,000.
$5,000.
It could be
$5,000.
$25,000. You don't have any backup. You need backup to be able to tell me how much it's gonna cost. It's the same thing with everything else on here. And by the way, this little note that he has here saying what he's gonna do does not even come close to what I feel is $50,000 or $60,000. I do this work all the time, and I know what stuff costs to do the work. Now, if he specifically said the road was gonna be this wide, it was gonna be this deep, it was gonna be this long, then I can get an idea of how much gravel he's gonna use. But he doesn't have that in there, he just has the length, but he's not telling me how thick he's gonna put it on there, so what is he gonna do that? Is he gonna take and tamp it down? Is he gonna have it tested to make sure it's compacted correctly? Is he gonna use a sit test to make sure he's using the right type of gravel? I mean, I can go on forever with this stuff. And I'm just reading what he put down and what you guys asked for a scope of work, not a bid spec, because the spec is totally different, is wrong, okay? So I know that when you go through and you ask, one, you're worried about the water, the silt's going down into the Little Bear Pond. So does he have any erosion control figured in there? Does he have any flaggers in it? Is he gonna be flagging? So there's a lot more to just doing this little bit of work here, but that price that he's put in here is a rough estimate, and it needs to have somebody break it down and give you the total cost of everything that he's gonna do.
But I just want to say, we asked that several times. We were told not doing that.
Totally not.
You need to
against
just
you.
trust me because I got a plan, so.
So I commend you guys for doing what you did. Regardless of what Aaron is saying, that our taxes are gonna go up, it does need to be done correctly. And it needs to do that going forward, and I agree with you guys. Okay, now, that said, he's our road commissioner, he should have sat with you guys. He should have been one of the persons that actually sat with you guys to build the scope of work, so that everybody knew what was gonna happen. Unfortunately, he chose not to do that.
You guys don't even care about that. Like, you guys, chest cracker.
He chose not to do it.
You want to?
So when we were
No, he wants.
reviewing what happened, looking back on my notes, and I was even able to share that with them. I said, we took his recommendations for Pratt Hill Road, and Wesley and a roads engineer took this and they fine-tuned it a little bit. And then we handed that off to the roads committee, who did a little walk and tried to the best of their ability, with the help of Jeremy Johnson. And they took that input from Jeremy and they came up with a bid spec.
That's good. It won't happen again. You burn that bridge.
You're as rude as the day is long, sir.
I'm just telling you the truth.
How do you know that?
I know Jeremy personally, and I know Ben personally.
Jeremy has
And I know
already-
E&D personally, and they all talk.
Yeah, so.
And they're all local guys, so now you're not gonna get local guys. You're not gonna get someone like Brad giving it $217,000 to do the job.
We just found somebody that was 1,500 more, so.
And he flat out lied his meetings, he just business still ideas. He's one of the better business here, he's only been in business since August 16, 2024.
The other thing, I just lost my train of thought.
Okay, so we have a problem.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, Richard, I'm so sorry.
Is this public session?
No, we don't have open session tonight.
You're not having open session?
No, we don't have it tonight. We don't do open session, only at regular board meetings. This is to move road projects forward.
So I can't bring up anything else?
Only if it's gonna be helpful.
Well,
That wouldn't make sense.
it might be helpful. Have you come up with the estimate that I asked for last meeting?
What estimate is that?
Leanne, can we get back here? It's in the minutes.
I asked for an estimate for the rest of the year, how much more taxpayers are gonna have to pay for road repairs and so forth due to the foolishness of two people on the select board and the road committee.
Not helpful.
I don't care whether it's
Quiet.
helpful or not.
Quiet.
I
We
asked for
appreciate
the
that.
estimate, I'm just asking if I can.
We're not gonna be able to come up with that until we get the roads repaired, and then we'll know what the cost is, but we're gonna try to keep it within our budget.
Foolishness.
Yes, Dave?
Yeah, I'm concerned with exactly what Rich is saying, raising taxes, because from what I understand, we took our $1.4 million road bond out and spent all the money over the past 3 years, and we also have, what, 500,000, including that, so almost $2 million spent on our roads in the last 3 years. And this spring, they wanted another 1.3 or $1.2 million road bond. That is gonna kill our budget, our tax, that's what we wanna get away from, Richard. I think we're going in the right direction now, we're being accountable for what we're spending, we're asking for specifics. We don't wanna build cheap roads. Cheap roads suck, it's perpetual maintenance. You wanna build a road properly, so you have less maintenance on it, and it lasts for much longer.
And Pratt Hill's very sensitive because it sits right there at the watershed, and we already have issues based on no silt fence, stuff running down. And I'm sure there's other areas on the pond that stuff is running down, but we need to do our part and do it the right way.
In talking with Bim, the reason it's gonna be a little bit more this time around is because he did it cheaper for so long, and that road in the last 4 to 5 years has had $2,500 spent on it. So by doing whatever, now we have to clean up, and yes, it is gonna be a little more expensive.
So
Cheaper is not always better.
I'm gonna take your comment, but then I need to move forward because we need a solution for Mahoney Road.
Okay, so when we went down to the bottom of Pratt Hill, every single culvert hasn't been cleaned out in probably 10 years. So all those culverts gotta be changed now, that if they were cleaned out and maintained, it would have saved us money. I mean, Kathy's seen them, every one of them was like filled right in. So that added to that job, and I don't even know if Ben was gonna change those culverts. So we're gonna check, they're gonna get changed, everything's gonna be right. Thank you.
All right, so an immediate problem is we need to get that culvert changed, which is now, we find out is broken. But we already knew that there's like anyone goes on Mahoney Road, the culverts, the road has kind of gone around it, and there's a huge drop, like 4 to 6 feet. So it needs to be changed, it needs to be changed right away, so. If we have someone else we can use, I think we need to do that. But we need to do it before someone gets hurt and it becomes a couple $100,000
What
instead
did
of.
you give us for price, D&D?
I just have a time and material sheet. At this point, he's local,
You
which,
talking yet?
say it again?
You say you talking this week?
No, he sent in a time and material sheet, a price list.
Last week that we didn't get to talk to because everything was so disruptive. So time and material sheet, it's an emergency. I'm gonna make a motion to have D&D Excavation take care of that culvert on Mahoney Road. Somebody gets too close to that edge, that car is going over the embankment and into that hole. Because for 2 months, we've had a ton of rain, adding insult to injury.
Do we have some kind of a barrier you can put up, keep people from getting too close to that?
I thought somebody did. and I don't
Somebody
know what
put
happened
2
to
great
it.
stakes with ribbons on, that's all that's up there. I was gonna take some of Rusty's little
Somebody
cones
Mahoney
and
did that.
put cones around it tonight.
Somebody Mahoney put it in, it's Nate, Mason Merrill, they put that flag in there. It should be actually, reflective tape.
Do we have any cones in the town garage?
We should do, we got some recently, well, last year.
Could I get some tonight and I'll go put them out?
I guess.
At least something that's brighter orange and
I think they have reflective.
There's ribbons up,
yeah.
The phones have to reflect it on.
They've got,
there's ribbons up, there's grade 6 ribbons up. By the time you get to that hole, you're in the tree, then you're so.
I hope that, Okay, so,
He's really not saying how much gravel he's gonna use.
That's a time and
And that's what
material
we was
fee, that's
asking.
that's not an estimate.
That's what we was asking for BIM.
An emergency, I don't think. I don't think cost was an issue when it came to an emergency.
well, it's always an issue, but we want to make sure
It's
we get it
always an
safe.
issue, but
We gotta
this is
keep,
an
we
emergency.
don't give anyone a blank check, but.
This is an emergency.
Could you ask him to give you a rough estimate?
Could we do that?
Could you
Yeah,
ask him
I think
to
we
give you
better do
an
that
estimate?
first.
Not even a rough one, ask him to give you an estimate.
Sure.
It shouldn't take me.
Then we need to find another contractor.
I wouldn't think it would take him half a day to figure it
The Turner crew with 3 people and a little backhoe just did a whole bunch of culverts in no time.
I will reach out to them, and last I knew, he said he could probably get to it before the week was out.
Wow.
That's pretty good.
Is this the only copy you have?
Nope.
Okay, we'll make some copies. Okay. All right, so you think you can reach out to them in the morning?
It's probably gonna take more than that just to get dig safe out there to market.
Is there anything on that road? Is there lines
What's that?
under, is there lines under that road or not?
You still have to have dig, you still have to have dig safe come out.
We get 3 days, so if you call them tomorrow morning, it'll be Friday when they.
Okay.
Whether they come out or not, you can start working.
So who has the number for DigSafe and how do we reach out to them?
Takes it. That's the one.
Contractor usually calls them.
Yeah, they usually call them, we don't.
Okay,
Contractor will call them.
well, then we definitely need cones. We need something out
And
there
ask,
with ribbon.
tell him plus a culvert.
He's gonna need a
He's
culvert.
gonna buy a culvert.
All of those culverts that we bought that are hanging out behind the salt
Probably
shed,
not the right size.
how does that happen?
Because every road is different.
But how
Yeah,
do
they're all different,
I know, but how do you end up buying a whole bunch of culverts ahead of time?
because he has preparations for the ones that are up there.
They were supposed to be, they were built to Pratt Hill, so they must fit Pratt Hill,
Mhm.
because that's what he built them for. Yes, Paul?
Dig safe, you brought up a good point. Do you know if Ben has done dig safe on the 2 culverts he's gonna change on?
Yep.
Town Farm?
Mhm.
Yes. Because it's gonna be painted right out, so.
Yep, no, they have already.
So I know they've done Pratt Hill, I saw the painting marks, so. Okay. All right,
Put that on the next agenda to vote next Tuesday.
next Tuesday. Yeah, if we can get it,
For this,
we need to do something right away.
okay, right? Where it's an emergency, do we have to wait that long?
You're gonna have to sign a contract. There's no contract with him.
Okay. Is that something that can be left at the
You need
town
an
office and we
estimate.
can go in and
You have
one at a
to
time?
vote on it.
Unfortunately, we only can vote when we're together, so those are Tuesday nights these days.
Well, if we vote now, make a motion
But we
to,
don't know what the price is, so
What the
it's-
price is.
I know, which is why we need to have cones and marked out. I know it's got some sort of flag and tape up there right now on the grade stakes. So I went by this morning. Okay, one of my other concerns is I don't see any invoices out there for the road work that we've been doing, for the patching or,
There was payroll submitted yesterday. That's it.
payroll was submitted, but no invoices for all the coal patch work that he did in August and September. So it's really hard to stay on top of how much we're spending if I don't get invoices. And every month, when we do our month-end totals, and Leanne will be giving us the month of September, if there's no invoices, then how do we know where we stand on money for anything? And I know our road commissioner sat right here and said, I get all my invoices in on Monday, but we haven't received an invoice yet. So it's hard. We're gonna do our best to stay on top of
What
the
would you need
spending.
for invoices on tar pads, and he's put out what, 2 loads of full pads?
Right, he's had Emily working by herself
Right.
with a running truck,
Which
she's had
turns
Brandon
hours
and
in.
somebody. There's no hours, we haven't got anything.
You got the hours yet?
Just, yeah. And that was mostly FEMA meetings.
Yeah.
I know Emily was out today, we got our road signs, she started putting those up.
So, but from my understanding, Brandon was patching and filling, Emily was.
Yeah, I don't know why he hasn't turned them in yet.
But we need to get some sort of standard so that invoices are being turned in on a regular basis, so we can keep track of the money for every department. It would not be acceptable if no offense to Jaylene, if Jaylene went and did something and we got an invoice for it 2 months from now, we'd say, did you really go? How long ago was that? Did anyone know you were going? Now we're way over budget, or we're not over budget. But if we're gonna run this town and keep up on our financials, we've gotta have stuff turned in responsibly. And I know he said Mondays, but we haven't gotten anything.
Well, Mondays before, a meeting where you
Right.
approve them.
Yeah.
Which is next week.
Right, but the last 2 weeks, actually the last month, we haven't got anything in. Am I wrong?
I don't know if they've done anything.
Just cold hedging, I think.
Yes, Al?
We're gonna have a road committee meeting on the 17th, I need to tell you guys that so you can use the hall.
Yes, is the 17th available? Will you notify the,
They're all,
Committee?
they're on, Leanne's already got on it. David, Terry was on it.
okay, we can get an email or something out,
Yeah, we emailed
or at least
her.
get it noticed, yeah, excellent. Okay. That's my list. Did Bim say that once he gets that moved, he's gonna go do the scraping back on the roads? That he said he was gonna do last
Great,
week?
Amy.
No, last week he said he was gonna take the paved roads and it's built
Build
up
up the
on the
gravel,
sides and he's
yes.
gonna, that's what he said he wanted to
Yeah,
do
I
this
think
week.
he's gonna do that probably after the culverts are put in.
It's in his report.
Right, but last week he told us he was starting that on Monday, when he got done with the other 2 tasks. So I'm just wondering, does that task go away or is he,
No, it's gone away. We can still do it.
well, I hope so. I'm just, that's what he said
Yeah,
last
we
week he was
still do
doing
it.
this week. Now he's doing culverts on Town Farm Road and not doing that. I'm just trying to stay on top.
I didn't ask him if he would take any.
Okay, so we did get a road complaint in this week from Dakin Lane.
A verbal.
I was standing there.
Yes, but
You
it's
were
not,
too.
it's supposed to be written, but.
Well, unfortunately, the person that complained was a little concerned about writing it up.
They want graded.
It's so sandy, there's 2 washout areas that your car will just sink, or your truck. And so, I did ask someone from the road committee, and I think Dave went out there and just take a look at it, because I was like, I have to be honest, I hadn't been on Dakin Road. Dakin Lane.
Never.
No. No. I think I've been up there to turn around going, this isn't the, I first thought that was where the salt shed was when I first started getting sand and salt. So, but, yeah, I rode to the end and it was so smushy in the cul-de-sac. And there's like, the ditches are so far away, the road is very broad, but it's all sand. It's like they patched it with sand. So you just, if you get over there, just, you
That's why it
sink.
was built though.
What's that?
That's why it was built, that's the material it was built.
So are those residents important? Are we gonna fix that road? Are we just gonna?
Probably fix it when he grades. I don't know.
But it's-
Should need some gravel,
Huh?
should need some crushed gravel. It's all sand, you gotta put some gravel in there.
But it's like, that's what it was built on the sides, it's all sand.
Mhm.
Because you don't dare, I wouldn't dare to go over, they just did the, cutting on the sides, brush hogging hood is just up there. And you can see where his track sunk right down in too. So, which, I'll get this out there, Hood's doing the, cutting the sides of the roads, looks good. Quite a bit has gone into the road, so we would love anyone that, if it's done in front of your house or beside your house and you see brush out there that's in the road, I know I picked some up today, but if any good Samaritan wants to pick up sticks that might get left behind, we would greatly appreciate it.
Well, what, you have, who's going, who's doing the mow?
Hood,
He's going.
yeah. We signed a contract with him a few weeks ago. So he just started, he did Pratt Hill and Berry Road and Dakin Lane, and I'm sure some other locations, but tree growth's pretty wild this year. There's a lot of growth, so there's a lot to cut. All right, is there any other major areas or problems that we need to fix while we're sitting here? Yes, Paul?
So on his, in his report he has here, he has gravel the end of Darrington Road, but he has a question mark after it. So is there a reason for the question mark?
That is probably for him to get the okay to go ahead and do it.
Correct. Last week he asked for gravel and no one approved it. He said there was no more gravel spread to grade on that road. He needs your approval to get more gravel.
Do we know what part of Darrington Road he's talking about?
It
He said-
Is it over by Jeff's or is it,
He said the end.
So probably near the big culvert. It's,
the end down where the
it's not.
the
all-
doctor's family from
Yeah, I don't
Massachusetts
think
are?
it's all in one place. It's just spots. A little bit here and a little bit further and,
Beyond my place, you go up to the top of the hill.
Yep.
As you're going up the hill after my place.
going down.
Yeah, it needs some gravel at the top, and then it needs some gravel
Going down the hill.
What
Okay.
makes that a priority
Well,
over this list we already have?
we do have to get it ready
He
to
needs to
plow this
Yes,
year,
he needs that
but,
to plow, in order to plow.
but in the priority list of stuff,
He did say that he could get up there with the smaller truck if he needed to.
Yes. But then also if he needs to get back up in there with a big truck to push the banks back, take a ride up there.
I'm worried about
See.
doing Dakin Lane too, if you've got to bring a big truck up there, or even Gurney
Dakin
Hill.
Lane is, it ain't too awful bad. Take a ride up Darrington Road.
Okay.
Well, I remember him last year saying that he'd asked, what's her, the lady from the female doctor, Riley? I'd asked, I go, how does she know that they need 500 yards of gravel? She's a doctor. And
She's
Bim's,
not the doctor,
and
he's the doctor.
he's a doctor. So Bim said, well, I asked her to write a letter to the board to state that we still needed gravel. I go, oh, okay. So, but now I've also heard 800
That's
yards
just
of
that
gravel.
rough, that's just a rough estimate. You can't really tell how many yards you're gonna take. I mean, it's, like he said, that hill going down over the hill needs quite a bit. And then the rest of it is just spotty here and there. Take a ride up there.
Right, I'm just concerned that,
FEMA and us are going back up there tomorrow morning.
oh, good.
No, it ain't good.
I have a question on, so at one point, there was supposed to be a turnaround at the end.
Yeah,
Has that been addressed?
I'm waiting from the road commissioner to give me the measurements so I can write up the turnaround deed and have it recorded.
he wants it to be 100 by 100.
I need to know where. I need it
But
from
at the
that.
end of the driveway.
Can you, like, just-
See, this is the details we need. If we're gonna, our ordinance says that in order
The
to
road is like
provide
this.
a turnaround for the plows on private property, we have to have a deeded easement, deeded. So you
Okay.
can't just wing it. You
He's
gotta know
gotta-
exactly where those lines are gonna be.
You got a building here, right?
Am I wrong?
So he wants the turnaround to be right here.
I need the footage.
He's had
on
since
each
last year to
side.
go get it, at
How
least
far
where he
from
wants
the
to put it,
building?
mark it.
You guys agreed to.
Bim knows it, I'm waiting.
Yeah, it's okay.
I know.
We'll get that, try to get that tomorrow.
I can't hear when two people are talking.
Drop the ball again.
So can Bim,
I just told her I'd give her her measurements tomorrow.
and where it shows on a map? Because it's a deeded easement, so it affects their property.
Oh, yeah.
So if they sell their property, that deeded easement stays.
Right.
So it's very important. And this is a task the road commissioner.
On the LaFoy Road, we don't know if we're gonna get that. Has Professor been in? And I
I've
think,
had that written up for months.
and I think her
That's not-
sister's name is on the deed, and that's what the holdup is.
Well, this is why we need to have the easement, because what if they have a title issue, which we hope they don't, God forbid. But these are things, these are details that we gotta get firmed up. Yes, Al?
Well, we're buying gravel in bulk, we should be looking at some of these, bigger trucks, these wheelers coming, that you could probably get gravel cheaper than the regular dump trucks. So you did have some prices from different places that people would bring gravel in, right?
We did.
Right.
Plus, we have a sand contract too, but yeah.
Saves a lot of trucking if you got bigger trucks.
Might cost more too.
I think it was cheaper.
Seems like if you bring a whole bunch of small trucks and you can get a driver with a bigger load, you're only paying the driver once instead of 3 times if they have to make
I think
3
some of the
loads.
gravel pits actually, they have the trucks to do it. I know Weston bought stuff, he bought gravel from somebody who was pressure dust or whatever, it was pretty reasonable, I couldn't believe how cheap it was.
I keep hearing cheaper, and cheaper in the long run is costing us more money.
Just want to make sure it's the same quality, that it's good quality gravel.
Right. Well, like I said, it comes out of the pits, the major pits, not the bank run gravel or whatever, or sifted or screened, it's crushed.
Right.
Bank run gravel ain't no good.
No, that's for sure. Paul, Aaron, sorry.
So,
Yep.
I just want to go back to the damage, I'm trying to get caught up on that. Where did that end up? We agreed, or the town, you guys agreed to
The town,
extend their road for them, but they had to give a spot for the plow truck turnaround, correct?
Mm-hmm.
At town meeting, that was, the voters approved that.
The voters approved it, and that's where it died, we never got anything. 'Cause the reason why this came up is because this happened on Camp Road, and the landowner ended up building a damn garage and turnaround.
Yeah,
So,
we
are
finally
you
got
guys
one.
telling me that we don't have a turnaround?
Yes, we finally got one up there on the Camp Road.
Right, but I'm talking about Darrington, is this
the
gonna happen
road
again?
commissioner,
I've been waiting for Bim to bring me the measurements so I can write it up.
So,
We've got permission from the landowners.
I thought
Verbal.
this was a state thing, it's 100 by 100.
I need the measurements from the building, I need
Oh, you need the
some,
physical out there, where
Need to
you
know
want the turn.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. Wouldn't that be up to? Yeah.
Up to the road commissioner.
I'll try to get them tomorrow.
I mean, that should have been taken care of before the town voted on it.
we got permission before the town voted on it from the Rileys,
verbal.
but we can't record an easement if the road's not gonna be.
It had been voted on 2 years in a row and turned down. This was the 3rd year it came back up to open it for plowing. So, all right. I think we have our assignments. You're gonna work on the easement so that we can move the project forward. Can't do anything till that. Vim's gonna get his trailer moved and then start working on the side banks. And he's gonna do 2 culverts on Town Farm. You're gonna call D&D, get a rough estimate, and have them call Dig Safe. We're gonna vote on it Tuesday, if they can get that done, providing they can do the job. Okay? And I'll get a note, email off to Bim and ask for his invoices to be in on Monday.
Well, they will be, because you're meeting Tuesday.
Right. Will you have, September numbers for all of September? After you pay those checks? Well, we'll be able to close out September.
Side and everything.
Great, good. So we can look at the number and see where we stand. Super.
I still don't have the budget in there, but the assessors are coming next week. Hopefully we can submit taxes and then I can put the budget numbers in.
Yeah.
Otherwise you have to refer to your budget worksheet.
And we have, the Pratt Hill job starts next week, isn't it, 17?
11th,
21st.
Oh, 21st.
21st.
I think that's what it says.
Good.
Great. Okay, it's on there. Maybe the front page.
Oh, yeah, estimated start date Monday the 21st.
Okay. Excellent. We'll have to give him write a check next week. Okay. All right, we thank everyone for coming and hopefully we'll get all those assignments done before next Tuesday. Isn't it great having weekly meetings? I totally agree, but we're gonna get stuff done. Our town deserves us to do a good job for them. Thank you, everyone. Good night.
I'm really glad to see that you got the meeting, but with you.
Thank you. Me too. Thank you very much. It's my honor to start with lunch.